Hi, this is Laura from LiveVisions.com, and I wanted to let you know that if you want to, if you're bored, I know a lot of people are home and need things to do, I think it's a really good time to learn astrology. I have tarot classes on there too, but I'm stressing astrology because astrology, I teach you the planets, the signs, and the houses, right? But astrology lets you know the timing of things, right? The second house is your work, right? You got to know what that sign means, if there's any planets in that second house, and where the ruler is to that second house is going to give you information on what you should be doing for work, right? Your sixth house is your work environment, your work and day-to-day activities. It also relates to your health, right? You want to look to see what planets you have there, especially if you're having any ailments, if you're not feeling well. You want to see what planets are there, and you want to see the ruler to this area of your chart to see where that is placed for more information. The 10th house is your house of status, your title in the world. Mr. or Mrs. Jones, I am a doctor, I am a scientist, I am a housewife, whatever your title is, right? So you're wanting to look at what planets are in the 10th house, what sign it's in, and where the ruler is, where the ruling planet of that house is in, for more information. And then, I get into the planets, the signs, and the houses, what the planets mean, what the houses mean, and what the signs mean. And this is so important in astrology, and you put it together like a puzzle, okay? And then you look at, once you know your natal chart really well, and you know how to read your natal chart, you're going to go into transits, which I'm including in my classes, right? It's when a transiting planet is hitting your natal planet, activating those things in your natal chart. That's what happens. So let's say you have Aquarius planets and your sun is Aquarius, or your Mars or your Jupiter or is an Aquarius, right? And right now Saturn is transiting the first couple degrees of Aquarius. So and Jupiter too. So you're going to be looking at what planets you have that are being triggered by Saturn or Jupiter right now, right? So Saturn transiting planets can create restriction. It can create lack, right? It also can create lessons or taking one's time. Saturn also rules time. It's a restriction or a delay, but Saturn has you teach you lessons, and it points out the cracks in the house that it's in. So let's say you're having relationship difficulties, right? And Saturn is transiting your 7th house of relationships. So what doesn't come out what does not come out in the wash comes out in the rinse, okay, when Saturn transits a relationship house, okay? So when that happens, whether it's your 10th house of status, whether it's, your 7th house of, relationships, it's not, or your 1st house of self, it's not really a good time to really have secrets and so forth, because like I said, what doesn't come out in the wash comes out in the rinse. It points out the cracks of your relationship. Now, if your relationship is solid, then I don't see Saturn really giving you a lot of difficulties in your relationships, but it will point out cracks in your relationships, right? Insecurities, jealousy, manipulation, lies, all of these things will be exposed as Saturn's in the 7th house, right? If somebody is living in a false relationship, a relationship based on money or based on something else other than love, or if there's somebody going and seeking third parties and the other person doesn't know, you know damn well when Saturn transits your 7th house that you would find out, right? And the way Saturn speaks is with a whisper, then a shove, and then a kind of a kick in the ass. It's kind of, how it speaks. And it's a 2.5-year transit, right? So I get into all of this in my classes, right? I let you know what these planets mean, what the signs mean, what the houses mean. And it's nice when you learn this stuff. You can look at your chart and see the transits and say, wow, my 2nd house is really being activated. Let's say you have Jupiter transiting your 2nd house. Well, that's going to bring a lot of opportunities to you with money, right? And it's hitting, let's say it's hitting your natal Jupiter or Uranus. So maybe, Jupiter and Uranus conjunct could be unexpected money coming to you, unexpected wealth coming to you, right? It could also be unexpected expenses, but nonetheless, Jupiter transiting the 2nd house is going to bring financial abundance, financial opportunity to you easily, while Jupiter transiting that house. And Jupiter's transit is only a year, okay, approximately a year, right? And Venus is the same way. So let's say Jupiter's hitting Venus, right? no, depending on the house it's in, it's going to bring expansion with love and or money, right? So let's say Jupiter's in the third house, right? Hitting Venus. The transiting Jupiter is hitting your natal Venus, right? It's a really good time to advertise because third house is communication, right? To bring more money into you. Also, communication regarding love could be more harmonious during that time. So you want to take advantage of advertising, putting yourself out there. If Jupiter is hitting Venus or Venus is in your third house, right? You need to know these things, you guys. And you need to know if you have Jupiter hitting your third house, also if you have the money, it might be a good time to get yourself upgrade a vehicle, right? You could have some luck in getting some knowledge in regards to a vehicle, right? And getting one maybe that's good for you, a good car, a good truck, good whatever, right? Now, same thing when it comes to your home and family situation. Fourth house, home and family. It could be expansion of the home, expansion of the family situation. Maybe you need a bigger home, right? And Mars here could be action. Maybe with Mars in the fourth house, you could be moving. So you need to know when. A lot of times people call me and they're like, well, when is love coming into my life? Now, here's the thing. If you're sitting at home on your ass in front of your computer and you're not going out at all, or you're not looking to speak to other people, even online or what have you, you're not initiating conversations with other people, you can't say, well, my seventh house was activated with Venus and Jupiter, and it just didn't happen. Why didn't it happen? Well, the opportunity, you have to know the timing of opportunity. If you don't get out there and take initiative, the opportunity passes you by, And it's like that Bible story of the guy, God sent him a boat. And he said, God, why didn't you save me? And he says, no, God's going to save me. I don't need the boat, right? And there was a few other instances where he said, no, God's saving me. I don't need this and I don't need that, right? And then he went to God and he says, well, why didn't you save me? He goes, shit, I sent you a boat. I sent you this. He kept saying, I'm going to save you. I was trying, dumbass. You know what I mean? It's the same thing in astrology. It really is. You have to take advantage of the transits, okay? So if your second house is lighting up like a Christmas tree with Mars and Jupiter and all these planets are being hit, right? It means if you snooze, you lose. If you have benefic planets in your house of money, you need to take advantage of those opportunities, right? If you have Saturn hitting your second house, it means save your money. It means watch what you're spending because you could have some lack coming your way, or there could be financial restrictions coming your way. And it's really good to know these things and to know when Saturn would be transiting. And it's just so you know, it transits a sign every 2.5 years. So it's good to know these things, to know what's coming up, to know when to take advantage and, when to hold them, when to fold them, when to walk away, when to run, right? So if your seventh house is being lit up, it's time to initiate partnerships, whether it's business or personal, right? So it's time to initiate those things. Third house being lit up, if you really want business, it's a great time for social media, for advertising, right? Ninth house could be a great time for travel or taking a class that is learning something, right? Now, it depends. Now, if a Saturn's there, there's a lack of travel. There's a lack of, it's a difficult class. It may be difficult to learn, or you're having difficulty with foreign people from foreign lands, imports, exports. It's important to know how these, how these transits affect you natally. So in astrology, I teach you basic astrology, which is the signs, the planets, the houses, and what they mean, okay? I teach you how to look at your own chart to understand yourself as a person. I also teach you to look at the charts of people who are around you, family, significant others, partnerships, and understand their chart. So maybe understanding the type of person they are to maybe make things a little bit more clear as to why they behave in such a way, right? Right. And then the next part of the class, I teach you transits, which is understanding when certain areas of your chart are activated by transit, by transiting planet, which activates those areas in your natal chart, right? And not only can you look at transits for yourself, but you can look at them for loved ones, anybody in your family. It's nice. I will be doing a class soon as well on synastry. I think I might be doing maybe live classes on synastry. And what synastry is, it's when you're a little bit more advanced in astrology and you know the transits, you know the aspects. I'm sorry. You also have to know the aspects. So I teach you how to spot an aspect in this class as well. How to spot an aspect. You know what I'm saying? And I think this class, I'm sorry, I have to preface. This class is basic astrology and aspects. Transits, I don't have a class on transits, but I'm going to be adding transits. Transits is knowing when a transit is coming. And you can always look at, Planet Watcher and find out where the transits are. Just click up Planet Watcher. It shows you exactly where the planets are, what sign, they're in, and just apply them to your natal chart, okay? But I will be doing a class on transits as well, and it should be easy once you know basic astrology, right? Once you know the aspects and once you know the natal planets, the signs, the houses, and understanding what a square is. Let me tell you. Okay, you have to understand squares, trine, sextiles, semi-sextiles, grand square, grand cross. All these things are important to know. Biquintile, which is, a harmonious aspect. So here's the thing. Trines are easy. Trines are easy. So if you see a trine coming and understanding how to look for a trine, and I have it where it's easy, so you able to easily spot a square or easily spot a trine, right? And a sextile, how to easily spot a sextile, right? So I have it in my class here. So what do I mean by these square and all of these other things, right? Well, that means is when a transit is coming, right? When you look at your natal chart, how far away are they from each other, the planets, right? So, if you have, let's say, your Mars 3 signs away from Uranus, well, that's a square, right? 3 is a square. 4 is a trine. 4 signs away, and it's not houses, it's signs. You're not counting houses, you're counting signs, right? And you're looking at degrees here, okay? So if it's, within a 10-degree orb, I do teach my class within a 10-degree orb, you guys, okay? So anyway, you're able to look at what is our hormone. So you know that I'm going to have difficulty if I see a trine. Well, my Mars is, trining Uranus. I need to be careful of accidents, right? I need to be careful of my actions because there could be an accident or things could be a little unexpected difficulty for me. All right? Now, if I see a trine there, let's say, let's talk about the natal chart. Let's talk about Uranus trine Jupiter. Now, that's a lottery aspect, right? If you have natally Uranus trine Jupiter, I will give you, like when I do a natal reading, I give you the dates. I look at the Swiss ephemeris, and I look at the dates of what's coming up, right? What am I looking for? When I see Uranus trine Jupiter, I'm looking to see when transiting Uranus, how long it's going to take for it to get to your natal Jupiter, or I look at transiting Jupiter to see when it's going to get to your natal Uranus. Okay, those would be dates in which it's going to be very beneficial for you to play the lottery. Okay. I also look at your natal chart and I look to see if you have difficult aspects, right? Like 29 degrees is a tested degree. If you have Scorpio and Taurus, obviously they're called axes. If you have 29 degrees Taurus, you're going to have on the opposite side of the axis 29 degrees Taurus, right? Taurus, Scorpio, okay? Libra, Aries, those are all the same axis, right? So when it comes to Scorpio and Taurus, it's a bankruptcy degree, 29 degrees. If you have that in your natal chart, you may experience bankruptcy if you're not careful. 29 degrees Cancer or Capricorn, that's a millionaire's axis, okay? So that, if you have that, it's really beneficial. If you have Jupiter conjunct Pluto in your natal chart, that is a rags to riches aspect. That is, also millionaire, right? So we look at these things. And it's nice for you to be able to look at your chart or a loved one's chart or a potential partner's chart and look to see what is it they attract for love. What is that 5th house saying? How do they date, right? what is their 7th house? Like, what attracts them to marriage? What kind of marriage partner are they attracted to, right? And where may they meet them? The ruler to that 7th house is going to tell you wherever that ruler is, where they're going to meet their marriage partner. Wherever the ruler of the 5th house is going to tell you where they're going to meet their relationship partner, right? People they usually meet to date, right? 8th house, you know, is intimacy, you guys. How are they, what is it they really want on a deep level as far as intimacy, right? What is it, what are they interested in, right? Are they on the same page as you intimate-wise? And maybe your partner's not telling you what they're really interested in. And you can look at that 8th house and see, oh, Pisces, oh, the fantasy is better than the reality. The more fantasy-like, the more they're going to like the situation. Like The Notebook. They may say, that movie was wonderful, but I still haven't had anyone in my life love me so much like they loved each other in The Notebook, right? 8th house, Pisces. Ruler to the 8th, ruler is Neptune or Jupiter, co-ruled by Jupiter. So if Pisces is ruling the 8th house, fantasy could be better than the reality. They might love, they're going to have compassion also in an intimate way. They're all about romance, right? They're all about romance. If Pisces, this is the guy who's going to sit down and actually watch a fucking, romance movie with you. Yeah, and not fall asleep, right? They could be into the romance of the things, They may, want something they want love that transcends the physical into the spiritual. This is somebody who also, they make great lovers because intuitively, if you have Pisces ruling the 8th house, they automatically know what a partner needs and wants in an intimate way. They're like clairvoyant like that, okay? Right? So if you have Aquarius ruling the 8th house, this could be somebody who's eccentric. They like oddities. You need to make sure and figure out what this person is interested in because they could be eccentric as far as their intimate life, liking things that maybe you don't like, so you need to be careful. Aries ruling the 8th house, S&M. This could be somebody who, likes a little bit of violence or something, or, likes things rough a little bit. Aries ruling the 8th house. Now I'm saying if you have a partner who has Aries in the 8th house, don't just be rough without asking. Just saying, don't do that. Or Mars here. Mars is also could be rough in the 8th house, right? Neptune in the 8th house can also be somebody who likes the fantasy of things, romance, right? Leo in the 8th house of lovemaking. Oh my gosh, compliments will get you everywhere. They want to be the hostess with the mostest. And the more you make them feel like the king or the queen of the boudoir, the more they love you, right? So you want to look at these things, okay? You really want to look at these things. So to see compatibility, right? And this can really help you understand a partner, understand what a partner's wants and needs are. Now, Mars is what a woman is attracted to, but Mars is a man's actions, right? And, Mars is also a woman's action too, but we're talking about attraction. So the way women attract a mate is through their Venus. Men attract a mate through their Mars, right? Now, what women are attracted to is seen by Mars. What men are attracted to is seen by Venus, right? So you want to look, and if you're dealing with somebody who is a same-sex relationship, they could go with their Mars or Venus, just depends. You have to ask them. But anyway, I know this is a long I meant to say video. I was going to say Venus. This is a long video as it is. Anyway, just want to let you know, this is a really good class to take, right? So it's basic astrology, signs, planets, houses. You're going to learn the glyphs, which is those astrology symbols. See in the background, you see those lines? Those lines are, they're telling you something. It's a trine, it's a square, it's a sextile. Those lines are telling you something. The glyphs are the symbols, the astrology symbols. You see on the very far right, that little red zigzag sign, that's the symbol for Leo. Okay, and the one above it, the blue, it looks like 6 and a 9, that's the glyph for Cancer. So you want to look at these astrology glyphs and symbols that you're going to learn in this class, okay? You're going to learn those. You're going to learn aspects. you're also going to learn mostly what the signs, planets, and houses mean. So this way, when you look at the glyph and when you pull up an astrology chart, you're not looking at it like it's a hieroglyphic. You're not looking at, okay, I don't understand this. You're going to understand it, okay? So if you want to take this class, I think it's great. And it's a great time to do so, because once you learn astrology, and then once you learn aspects, I'm going to give you a transits class I'm also going to make, and it's going to give you the timing. Also, you can always do this on your own too. Go to Planet Watcher and figure out where the transits are. It's going to give you timing, right? Now we know Jupiter takes how long to transit? The sun is a month for each sign, right? Each sign is a month for the sun, right? Mars goes retrograde every 2.5 years, but Mars, I have to figure out how much Mars is for each sign. Jupiter is a year, Saturn is 2.5 years, Uranus is like 7 years each sign. Anyway, I go over all of this in the natal chart. When I teach you the natal chart to understand these things. This way, if you're a little bit more advanced and you want to look into transits, you go to Planet Watcher and you figure out where each and what degree each planet is in, and you could figure out the timing. So you want to look at how long it's going to take for this transit planet to hit your natal, right? Your natal planet. So this class, I think, is going to be really beneficial, not only for you, but your loved ones, for you understanding your love life. Those of you who always pick partners, like you're like, why do I always have issues in relationships? You want to look at what sign is ruling your 7th house of partnership. If it's Pisces, okay, you're going to always need to have compassion for a partner and always have partners with issues. But the thing is are they issues you can overcome, or is this person a perpetual science project? If they're a perpetual science project, you need to know when to hold and when to fold and when to walk away, when to run, right? Yeah. If you have 7th house Aquarius, is this person wanting freedom? They don't like to be tied down. And I think it's important, if you're dealing with a person with Aquarius ruling the 7th house, to understand or at least have a conversation about what the commitment is to them and what kind of freedom they're wanting in the relationship, right? It doesn't mean they're cheating. It just means maybe they're focused on their work and they want somebody that they can see 3 days a week or 4 days a week, or when I'm living with you, I just like to do my own thing and let me work. And they can appear detached, is what I'm trying to say. And it's kind of, either they need to talk to you about it, or you need to understand this person may need a little bit more space and freedom, So those are some signs that I know may have, issues, 7th house issues. We also talk a little bit in this class about your moon, your greatest need emotionally. What is your greatest need? The moon is the mother, but it's also a nurturing sign. So you want to see, how are you nurtured? How do you nurture others? Moon in Capricorn, this is the person who might buy you a ring or buy you the house and say, well, I show you I love you, I buy you everything. I don't understand what you're talking about. And maybe your moon's in Cancer and saying, well, I don't really want the stuff. I like the hugs, the cuddles, and the cuddles and the kisses and all that stuff. I like PDA, Moon in Cancer says. Moon in Capricorn says, I'm not into PDA, but I'll give you the house and the car and things you need. That's the way they show love. So you want to learn somebody's love language too, you guys, when you're looking at a chart. So this class is going to be very beneficial. So if you want this class, I will put a link below this video. You can click on it. Classes are automatically for download, right? And I will be doing another class, transits, and then we will be doing, synastry. I want to do synastry as well. I think this is going to really help. Synastry is when your Venus falls in their 7th house. Well, that makes things more harmonious for partnerships, doesn't it? Yeah. Great. If your Saturn falls in their 7th house, it could be a karmic relationship, but also you may feel restricted by the partnership in some way, shape, or form. You may feel like you have to take care of that person, or they feel that way about you, right? Pluto. Let's say their Pluto falls in your 2nd house. You may feel there's going to be ending or transformation when it comes to you bringing in money, right? Let's say this person, Uranus, falls on top of your moon in your chart and synastry. they're going to make your emotions really up and down in the relationship. And you're going to have to look at the rest of their chart to figure out why. You know? So it's really good to understand synastry too, to understand how another person, have you ever been around someone and it's like you can't get the smile off your face? It's like, oh my God, my stomach hurts from laughing so damn hard, right? And then you're around somebody else and you're like, why do I feel mentally, physically fucking drained? Oh my God, I can't take it. Ever have that? Where somebody just sucks the life out of you? Just so you know, whatever house you have Pisces in is where you serve or suffer. So you may be called of service. Whatever house that Pisces is in, making sure that you do some sort of service in that house, right? So third house, siblings. Fourth house, home and family. Fifth house, children. Seventh house. Fifth house is also dating. So let's say if you have fifth house Pisces in the house of dating, you may date people who are science project or need help in some way or have addictions, you know, all that stuff. You got to watch that. Seventh house, relationships. Eighth house, intimacy. It's wherever you have Chiron, you could be a healer to some people, right? Chiron could be a healing. Chiron is where you serve, where is a wound that is always open for you, but you can use that wound to help heal others. You know how like you experience the death of a parent. It's so hurtful. And you have Chiron, it's like that wound never heals. But you're going to use that wound to help heal others in some way, shape, or form. So you want to look at your Chiron too. Anyway, we talk all about this in classes, so I hope this was helpful to you. I may do an online live class soon, but I figured this is available for immediate download. I've done a lot of work in the past for my classes. So if you want to take advantage of some classes, this is something that's going to keep you busy. You know, it's going to help you. Anyway, I wish you all the best. And, yeah, we'll talk soon. If you, what was I going to say? Those of you who want a transit class or a synastry class soon, comment below what kind of class you're looking for, and I will do that. All right, and if you have not liked this channel, please like. I'm planning on doing a lot more things. You guys want to put comments on what kind of videos you want to see next. I will, because I'll be honest with you, I've been doing videos and it's like I don't think people are really into. Unless you want to see more astrology, you guys. The reason I started doing tarot is because I was not getting enough views with the astrology. People, I mean, I had loyal clients and loyal customers and people who would always come back with astrology, but. And again, I bank on astrology. Bank on it. You know, you can't mix up a transit. I mean, sometimes a transit could be like Saturn, could be no, or delay. Saturn is either the answer is no, it's a delay. It's showing you the cracks in something that you have to fix. You know, you have to understand the language of the planets, and sometimes like ninth house is many things. Ninth house is teaching, writing, publishing. It's also long distance travel, right? It's taking higher education. So you have to understand how the house is speaking to you at the present time. It's also legal, ninth house. So anyway, yeah. Let me know if you want more astrology, you want more tarot, what you're wanting to see. If you want me to go back to the basics, the way I used to do astrology videos, if you want me to go back, do you like the tarot mixed in? Yeah. Because I need to see some sort of change on my channel as well at this time. But yeah, so when I started out, I just basically did astrology, you know. And I bank on astrology, I really do, because it never fails me for the timing, you know. The tarot just gives more, like, if you see, let's say Saturn's in the 7th house, it may be a good time to do a tarot reading on your relationship. Because you know that you're going to go through a relationship for the next 2.5 years. If you've had cracks, if you know you have problems in your relationship, Saturn's just going to put them in your face. You know what I'm saying? That's just the way it is when Saturn transits the 7th. So you may want to do tarot. I like tarot because tarot gives you more information about the cracks. You know, like what do I need to deal with? However, if your relationship is blue skies and green lights, there's no issue with the relationship. I wouldn't do tarot because, you know, tarot always just shows you the junk. And if there's no junk to see, don't put some where there's nothing, there's no issue, right? Only go to tarot if there's problems. If there's no problem, because tarot is definitely going to show you a problem if there's no problem. Sometimes, you know. Like I know that I will be doing readings for people and they'll say to me, I say, well, who got caught cheating? I see somebody was definitely, Seven of Swords was reversed. Center of the reading. Somebody got caught. Oh, yeah, that was me. I'm like, okay, well, you didn't mention that. You know, why is she being such a bitch to me? Why is she so distant? Why is she talking to me? Seven of Swords reversed in the middle of the reading. I'm thinking, you know, I just say what I'm given. I just say the cards, you know. And astrology, you know, I know exactly what you're dealing with as far as transits go. If it was a sinister reading, I'd be able to give maybe even more information. Understand why maybe her moon was lacking. Like, women go with their moon. So her greatest need is her moon, so you have to find out their love language, right? But as tarot teaches, boom, bam, boom, 5 minutes, less than 5. Who cheated? Somebody got caught cheating. Oh, that was me. Well, now you ask me, why is she not talking to you? Why is she? Well, I just was just wondering, and I'm like, well, you got caught cheating. Well, I said sorry. I'm like, well, it's going to take more than a sorry, you know. Anyway, tarot is good as an overlay to astrology is what I'm trying to say. But anyway, if you're wanting to download the class, it is there. It is, again, I'm going to reiterate, basic astrology with aspects, right? I will be doing another class on transits next, okay? So if this is something that interests you, I hope it does, because it's going to help you not only understanding the world we live in today as far as career goes. The career, you want to look at the 2nd, the 6th, the 10th, and you want to look at Venus, right? Those houses plus Venus. Especially if you're trying to reinvent yourself financially, figuring out how am I going to bring in money, right? So anyway, you may want to do a solar return for career and look at your career for that year as well. Okay? Those of you who want solar returns, those are on sale on the website right now if you want to get those as well. Anyway, I love you guys. Just so you know, these classes are immediate download. Once you pay, immediate link is sent to you. Boom, boom, boom. All right, you guys, I love you. I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.